It's time for Milberger's Gardening South Texas, live from Milberger's Landscaping and Nursery at 1604 in Bulverde Road. During the next 2 hours, our experts will help you with your gardening questions when you call 210-308-8867. That's 210-308-8867. Or come by Milberger's during the show and have your question answered in person. And now it's time for Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
Good afternoon. Welcome back to Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. It's a beautiful sunny Saturday afternoon. We made it through our first freeze of the year. Everything's thawing out. Hopefully,
What do you mean, first freeze? You should have said last freeze.
Last freeze. Well, sorry.
The only
I think I jinxed ourselves then. The only freeze we'll have this year.
There we go. That is the proper answer.
Yes.
We hope. Huh?
We hope so. I am Alex Escobar, along with Dr. Calvin Finch and Mark Peterson. We're outside on the porch today, and Milberger's is in full swing.
Yay.
What?
I went, yay.
Oh.
We're on the porch.
We're on the porch.
Well,
Lots of phone calls.
we have big news.
Big news.
Oh, what happened?
We have Pull Big
Oh,
on the counters.
They're here.
We're ready to go. So everyone who's been calling me, when are they going to have Pull Big over there? We have it now.
well, in fact, our team will be potting up the Pull Big for the distribution at the classes on the 21st and the 28th. Everybody that is registered will get access to one of those. And in terms of registration, we've had 40 register for the class on the 21st, so pretty full in terms of the free rodeo tomato. But we have room for folks if they want to just attend the lecture. So that is on at 10:30 on the 21st of February. Then on the 28th, which we've been getting a lot of phone calls on, that class we still have about half the seats available and half the potted up tomatoes. And that is on the 28th, and that'll be at 10 a.m., a little earlier.
And that's because it gives you some time to get over
That's
here.
right. We'll still do the radio show. It's on a Saturday, but we make the drive from Medical Center over there. If you're unfamiliar with where that is, if you on 410 in Babcock, right there where Medical Center is, you just go west 6 blocks, and it's Dorothy Louise Drive is right there, so relatively easy to find. And that class is the 28th. And if you want to register for that after the radio show, just call 210-382-4455, and we'll put you on. And we're also on the article. We mentioned the information on the Monarch and Milkweed classes.
Those classes are in March, correct?
Okay.
Yeah, March, April, and May. The last one, the one in New Braunfels, is on May. And you can in fact register. We'll have the registration slips there at the rodeo tomato classes for folks that want to register. And then we'll also have the phone numbers. Our partners in New Braunfels are the Master Naturalists and the Master
Well, both
Garden.
of them are going to participate.
Yeah, and of course we always fill that class up. It's overwhelming.
Very
and that's
beautiful.
on May 2nd.
Beautiful facility, easy to get to.
Nice garden. Wow.
Yeah.
And,
All these dates that Calvin is mentioning, hey, they're in the article. They're written down. So if you were scrambling for some pencil and paper, Don't worry, just get the Express News, and it's all laid out there for you by Calvin.
You know where else it is?
Where?
It's on the website.
Yes, it's at millburgernursery.com.
Yeah, with all the information about where the classes are and how you call to register. Because we have another class at Floresville, and that class is it's 6 p.m. in the evening on a Thursday on the 23rd, and so that's another opportunity, and of course that's another one that we fill up every year, and we're going to do a little different this time.
Well, really? What?
Yeah, we're going to give everybody a free plant. Hopefully they'll be germinated, one of the native milkweeds. But we're also going to give to those folks that are interested, to those gardeners, attendees, we'll give them a few seeds, and they'll be stratified seeds, unless it's the one variety that doesn't need stratification, which is the Zizodis.
Mm-hmm.
If the gardeners prefer those. And that's one of the most successful ones that we have, so it's a good choice. But we're going to try that, and we want the gardeners to go ahead and try, because transplanting is so tough on those milkweeds. We're going to have them go ahead and try direct seeding into their garden. The goal is, of course, to increase the availability of milkweed for the monarchs. That's the only thing they'll lay their eggs on. So it's a complex and interesting topic. And we talk a little bit about it in the article about the classes today. So if you want to get a little bit of background, you can do that, or you can go on the internet for the number of the articles on the milkweed and on the monarch. And then Mark also has a big class available.
Really? Oh, yeah, I do. So, well, are you talking next Tuesday? I have a class, the Hill Country Retreat, otherwise known as the Del Webb subdivision out there. Hill Country Retreat at 1 o'clock. And that's the garden club, and they'll be having it at the center, main center there. And I'm going to be talking about what do we expect in the future. And so I'm going to be looking into my crystal ball and saying what I think is going to be happening in the next 25 years regarding plants and the ecosystem and regulation. I'm going to touch on that. Yeah.
And how about weather?
Weather, I'm going to show that, well, this is what it's been for the last 5 years. This may continue. There's a little map. I'm going to show the map, the drought monitor map, and then I'm also going to show, hey, what's been happening in the last 30 years with the USDA climate zones.
Well, we'll probably also talk a little bit about weather today because
yes, absolutely,
on the radio show, because all of our gardens were affected by the freezes, and some, if you successfully protected your plants, minimal damage, but that wasn't always easy.
Yeah, so I saw you before the show going out with cyclamen and white, which reminded me, yes, for some unknown reason, well, I know, because I didn't cover them, but all my white cyclamen died. And I have to replace them. So that's why I looked at. No, I haven't yet. But I looked at you going out to the car with them, and I went, "Oh yeah, I better do that." I may make a change though. Looking at all the wonderful annuals we have here on display, I was like thinking, and I may go to Alyssum instead.
Well, the Alyssum got killed.
Yeah, but we still had some here.
Yeah,
that they had successfully covered up, and so they looked pretty awesome.
Well, that's one of the options that gardeners have. We talk a lot about, Well, the snapdragons look kind of sad, but if you notice, the foliage is about half the foliage is still good, and they traditionally always recover after a freeze like this, and then they'll have a good bloom period in the spring. And also of course, the pansies and the violas are looking good. But one of the options is you wait for them to recover, and then they'll look good in the garden. Or you can fill the gap with, because most of the nurseries, just like Milberger's here, did a good job of protecting the plants.
Absolutely, they
for
did.
sale from their from the cold. And in fact, Milberger's everything is on sale, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Milberger's is having their big game sale, 10% off everything in the store, excluding grass and labor. And that sale goes on until the 9th. So
why are we doing that?
Well, there's a big game coming up this weekend.
Oh, it's a game.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I thought when you said big game, I'm like, antelope or elk or moose?
No, we have a big game this weekend.
He's trying to prevent you from mentioning them.
Well, I've already been given the warning, so that's enough for me.
But yes, Milberger's big game sale going on till February 9th, 10% off everything in store.
Here's trouble.
Yep.
Because the Vikings and the Lions aren't in the Super Bowl. That's why we're having a big 10% sale.
Well,
we don't know who that is.
Yeah. Well, now Butch is giving us the sorry violin. Yeah. No, we know it. But you know what? There can only be one from the NFC. So there could only be one.
Okay. But yes, come on down to Milberger's for their big game sale, 10% off everything in store. Sale goes on until the 9th.
Yeah, and looking good are the snapdragons and the pansies and some of the cyclamen, especially if you like the white and the pink.
Did you figure out which ones those snapdragons are? I was looking at them.
I think they're sonnet.
I think so too.
Sonnets.
Yeah.
I didn't see.
I didn't see any of the tags, but they're looking to me, and I'm going, they look like sonnets.
Yeah, and there may be some of the smaller ones too, but I haven't seen any rockets there.
No.
Dianthus, there's some dianthus that look good.
Oh no! But we can see some of the snapdragons right through there. Looking pretty good. And
there's your
way
Alyssum.
back in, that could be the yellow one on the farthest away. That could be calendula.
That's
I don't know.
Pansies, yeah.
Or pansies, yeah, it's probably pansies.
There's your alyssum too over there.
Right, and so that's what I was looking at when I was walking among the tables. I was like, wow, look at that alyssum.
You know, and maybe we can get some comments from gardeners out there too. I'm a little surprised at how hard the flowers that warm up the winter garden. What are they?
That's the calendula I was talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, because I always think of them as in the same league as pansies and snapdragons in terms of surviving, but they really look like they're done for. They're just like they look like they're in the same league with the pentas.
Yeah. They're all brown. So that reminds me yes, I had some mortality in my garden with the freezes, but some of that was perennial dieback. So, boy, it's hard for me to withhold the pruners this time of year. So I really want to prune some of that dead stuff.
You know,
and I tell everybody this, so I should abide by it as well. Don't prune until the end of this month.
Well, it surprises me too that quite a few horticulturists that in the past never promoted that idea of leaving those plants there for the for the protection of the birds and other wildlife and for their cover and for the insects. But there are a lot of them are advocating. The social network is loaded with that.
With the requirement or
Yeah, and
recommendation?
what we're talking about, in case you're not familiar with it, all the subtropical plants, Point Sienna and
Oh yes, I had
Firebush and all the rest of them were hit by the freeze, and they die back to the ground. Of course, they'll come back in the spring.
I had some poinsettias that the tops really bit it. I went and said, the roots and the stems are okay. I was all excited, but now everything on top was burnt back.
I think it's especially important that we try to leave those in place at this point, because with our drought, we really don't have a thick weed base back out there, and there are a lot of bare ground where lawn grass used to be. Not much for. It's amazing. Not much for winter weeds yet, Mark. Have you noticed?
No, I haven't. I was just thinking about that. I've seen some the low wild strawberry, a little bit of what's the
horse herb?
Horse herb is the one I was thinking of. Thank you. A little bit of that, a little bit of this, but not any of the big stuff. The big
much,
plantains.
Not much henbit.
No, not a lot of henbit. There are a few here and there.
And the rescue grass and the bluegrass. They're doing very well as a weed in your vegetable garden and in the flower garden, but they aren't doing much as a weed in the lawn.
Where we'll accept it. We're a very accepting bunch. We will say, "Come on in. You can come on into the lawn, but not in our vegetable garden."
So, in that, I think that was the article we had last week covered the situation with the lawn.
I believe so.
But
yes.
So, if not last week, it was the week before this. So, if you want more information on your lawn situation, don't fertilize.
Don't fertilize yet?
No. You want to.
When do you
wait to fertilize until you mow real grass twice, which is usually about May 1st now.
Around May, okay.
Right. We usually we used to say April 15th. Do two things: your taxes, and maybe think about applying your fertilizer.
Yeah, most years that's pretty reasonable.
What would happen if you were to try to fertilize right now?
Well,
you
just
fertilize the weeds.
Waste it? Okay.
Yeah, you're fertilizing those lovely weeds. You're not fertilizing the grass.
Well, if there's any weeds even, you fertilize the bare ground there. That doesn't accomplish a lot. And it is an environmental problem to have fertilizer nutrients that are not utilized. There's that runoff. If you dig into the information about fertilization, there's a lot of warnings about all those nutrients that are available. They're very valuable and they help the plants grow. But if there's no plants, there's runoff, and they pollute our waterways.
And we have very susceptible waterways and aquifers. Particularly Edwards. Thank goodness, it recharges very quickly. Unfortunately, it accepts pollution very quickly as well. What was I going to say? A lot of times people ask, well, I'm putting a weed and feed down. I'm like, great. You're fertilizing the weeds, and then you're trying to kill the ones that are going to die by April. That's not very good use of your money.
So good to wait until May.
Wait until at least the third week in April.
Third week in April.
One thing that is pretty useful on dealing with the lawn, we won't spend a lot of time, is this aeration and top dressing. Now that will help you if you've got a lawn that is it's gotten pretty stiff and the water's not penetrating. gases are having trouble. This is a good month to do that. You get you aerate. You can rent one of those aerators, and then they cuts out some little plugs, puts them on top of the ground, and then you put some compost, just a half inch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You could, not even that.
Yeah.
But it's very liberal. That you can't make a mistake.
Okay, then.
So.
All right.
And it penetrates and really adds, makes your lawn ready. The nutrients. Well, the compost is not a very big nutrient source, but it certainly is important for water efficiency and gas exchange. And if you want to reduce that stiff lawn that you can't hardly dig up.
Gotcha.
You look like you're ready for a break.
I think so.
I know,
I think
he's
we'll,
getting real
we'll
antsy.
take-
I'm like, Calvin, be quiet. Hey, Alex is getting real antsy.
Absolutely. Give us a call at 210-308-8867. We'll be right back with
Milton would have hit us.
Millburgers Gardening, South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Welcome back to Millburgers Gardening, South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Give us a call at 210-308-8867. Let us know what survived the freeze. Let us know what unfortunately didn't make it. But also let us know if you have any questions about the garden. 210-308-8867.
You know, Mark didn't tell. I thought he was going to tell us also about the Go Gardening class.
That's right. Mark, your Go Gardening classes?
Isn't that starting?
I just wanted to see how long it took you to get panicky there. More now. The Go Gardening videos dropped on Friday, this past Friday. So we had 2 excellent videos for February. One at a home with a local landscape designer, and we looked at a home in the historic home in the Beacon Hill neighborhood, and what those homeowners wanted. They wanted to reduce grass, which I'm always in favor of, reducing that turf. And they were planting a lot of different perennials, and I really like how we designed it. So I pointed out in the video that in beds, particularly beds adjacent to a home or a porch in this case, what you do is you have the lowest growing plants in the front, and then you gradually have plants that have a little bit higher height, and then when you get to the top, it's 3 feet or more and in the back, so you got this gradual slope. That's the way to do it. If you have an individual round bed, you have the same thing, but you're focusing on a plant in the middle. You're gradually going up. So we went some of those over those design principles in one video, and then at the other, my good friend Lee Marlowe, the head naturalist, ecologist at the San Antonio River Authority, and we're like pruning some fruit trees. In this case, some native fruit trees, some Mexican plums, how to do that. And we went over on what to prune and what not to prune.
What did you prune on the Mexican plum?
Just some branches which were crossing over.
Okay. They're kind of a class. One of their claims is they're a classic growth without needing much pruning.
Yeah, right. So, and we didn't, because, well, if you know anything about doing a video, you want to make sure that you're not spending a lot of time on the actual cutting. So we fake a lot of things. We cut a little bit already in it, and then look, it's already took 3 cuts, 2 cuts or 1 cut.
I really like those Mexican plums because
right.
of the shape.
And so in actuality, in all honesty, we didn't have to do very much, but we opened it up. Everything on a fruit tree should look like a vase if you're not into production. If you're into production, we can talk all day about what to cut and everything like that. But in general, for aesthetics, you want an open vase shape canopy.
I've never had the deer eat on the Mexican plum too. So
well, you take a look at those leaves. And it's really easy to identify a Mexican plum in the wild, if you will, particularly when it has leaves, because they have very distinct, very thick, leathery leaves. So kind of fuzzy, stinky, thorny.
Almost
all the rules
almost sounds like the Inaqua.
Yeah, but not as bad. Not as bad. But and it's very distinct veination, like in an aqua.
Yeah.
So it's very easy. But yes, you are correct. I don't see a lot of predation on the leaves or the twigs of the Mexican plum.
And the fruit is probably not real high on the quality list, but the birds like it.
Yeah. So think yourself of a large marble, and where 90% of that marble is pit, and then the remaining covering is fruit.
Now, if you're into spit and pits, that's a good cause.
I exaggerate a little bit, but that's pretty close.
You know where they look good when they're you got a wide open area in your landscape, and you can put like a drift of 5 of those things, relatively close together, but a little space in there. Gosh,
I like him in a grouping like you mentioned, but in a deciduous area. So because they will tend to have their flowers on before the leaves are fully expanded on the surrounding tall shade trees, and so there's like this beautiful. All of a sudden, you come around the corner and it's this beautiful whitish pink color.
They seem to be attractive to cardinals and mockingbirds in terms of nests. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just amazing.
They're not real thorny, but they will have. They're dense, and they do have an occasional thorn, and so it's really good nesting area, if you want, nice protection. So anyway, Lee and I also talked about why you should not prune a lot of perennials, and there's reasons why, and so we talk about that a little bit. But it's a great little video. So you go to gardeningvolunteers.org. And that will get you to the website of the Gardening Volunteers of South Texas. And then on the homepage.
Yeah, the Gardening Volunteers of South Texas are a sponsor. But did you get an opportunity, you and Lee, to talk about the River Authority? Because they're really...
We didn't, because the videos with Lee and I are one of the higher rated ones we keep track of. Lots of times I just forget that, everybody knows Lee and I and the River Authority. But the River Authority is very important. It's just not here in Bexar County. It actually extends all the way down to the Gulf, the actual River Authority. And so they have natural areas all along the way.
Yeah, very
parks.
Very important in our environmental well-being, and leadership role and supportive role for youth and education programs and a lot of the programs we're involved with.
Yeah. So it is very important. So everyone, check out those videos. Go to the website, click on the Go Gardening videos, and watch me say my tagline. So let's get out there and garden and save some water. That's my tagline in the show.
And we definitely need to save water in this drought we're having. But it looks like we may have some precipitation on Tuesday, about a 40% chance.
I don't know.
All the way up to 40%.
I've given up.
Yeah. By that I mean 4% probably.
No. It's just like. Please.
We definitely need some.
Absolutely.
Need it. So, like many of our listeners know, I keep track of all the rainfall. And so last month, the average was almost 2 inches, and we only received a little bit more than 1 inch. So we're only 50%, only half of what we should be having on average. And I suspect this will happen again for February.
And you can tell. I mean, that we talked about the bare ground out there, and even usually we can talk about the winter weeds and the sustainable winter lawn with rescue grass. But gosh,
I haven't seen it. I was vaguely thinking about it, and then until you mentioned it just a few minutes ago, I'm like, wow, Calvin is right. I just haven't seen anything anywhere along my walks and along the during the Howard Peak greenways, along the greenways. I just haven't seen anything.
Yeah,
any green.
It's just amazing if we do get some substantial rainfall. Hopefully, gosh, we can expect those winter weeds to come charging up, and some of our wildflowers too. Now we have had some wildflowers that have come up, but I'm hoping that not a lot of them got hit by the freeze. The bluebonnets should do all right.
Oh yeah.
And I think of the poppies will probably get injured, kind of like the snapdragons, but I think they should.
I think anything early may have gotten a little touchback. So I was worried about the blue curl. We always talk about blue curl. It's a great early bloomer, early nectar source. And I think maybe some of them got a little touched.
Well, I was thinking of the blue curl. You're right. It did get some damage on it. But the other thing is that it's a little early, and if we get a little moisture, it'll come up gangbusters.
Yeah. Right. So in this case, the less amount of water was beneficial because we didn't have a lot of new growth coming up, and new growth that would have been affected by the freezes. But sure would like that precipitation.
It'd be nice.
Yeah.
So tell us some more about the sale here at Millburgers. Is that this 10% is
10% off the big game sale. Everything here at Millburgers is 10% off, excluding grass and labor.
That's not elk or bear or anything like that. Not big game.
No, not big game. Not deer. Not a buck 50.
The big game. Okay.
Not the big game.
Okay.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break. We'll talk more about what to do right now in the garden. 210-308-8867. We'll be right back with Millburgers Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Welcome back to Millburgers Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Give us a call at 210-308-8867. 210-308-8867. As I mentioned before, there's a small chance of rain this upcoming week, but we also have some high temperatures all the way up into the 80s, which I feel is a little unusual for winter time. But
yeah, now we'll probably get some questions. One of the reasons that we recommend is potting up these tomatoes, so that the air temperatures generally this time of the year and the soil temperatures are not high enough for the tomatoes to continue their great growth rate. Now, if you come in and see that those rodeo tomatoes here at Millburgers, gosh, they look wonderful.
Yeah. And we have some other ones. We have some celebrity and some Romas.
And Amelias.
Yeah.
And your Sweet 100s.
Yeah.
Ruby Crush.
So we got lots of different ones, but yeah, you know what?
Tycoons.
I am ready to see how those pull bigs do.
Yeah.
I mean, they look pretty good at this time of year. But again, the most important thing is at this time of year is pot them up.
Yep. And
you have some classes coming up.
Yeah, we do. And you pot them up, and then you pot them up into a 1 gallon or larger container, and you put them in the sun out of the wind. And then The other thing you got to watch out for, which makes it a little more difficult, is if the temperatures fall below 40 again, you want to get them inside in some heated area. If you got a greenhouse, you're lucky, or otherwise you can just move it inside the porch or something. Because if that temperature falls below 40, it won't kill those tomatoes, but it can harden them off, and you don't want it to stop that growth rate, because what you're after is you've got a determinate tomato. Usually these rodeo tomatoes are determinate or semi-determinate, which means that they grow to full size fast and then start and concentrate on setting fruit. And so to take advantage of that characteristic, you want to keep them in a growth rate, and then they set the fruit and beats the heat. Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? This time of the year that we're talking about, getting your tomatoes in full size and setting fruit by the end of June, before the end of June. Mm-hmm. And then we pull those tomatoes and replant in July. And the next crop, we're trying to beat the cold weather again. So that's what potting up is about. And works pretty slick. And, of course, you want to fertilize it. We use, for those of you attending the classes, we fertilize those gift tomatoes, rodeo tomatoes, with Osmocote. So and the Osmocote has been in place for a few weeks now, so the nutrients are ready for action, and the nutrients are ready for the tomatoes to take advantage of it. And then, of course, you can tell when you look at these tomatoes here at Milberger's, the Pole Big and all the other rodeo tomatoes, old rodeo tomatoes, they have obviously been well fertilized, because they look good and they're growing fast. Yeah,
no, the color is a good color green. I mean, you can tell they've been fertilized. So,
yeah. So that's what it's about, and again, still an opportunity. You can attend the lecture on the 21st here at Milberger's, but we've got 40 registered already, so we can't guarantee you'll get a potted up tomato, but there's still seats and potted up tomato opportunities for the class on the 28th of February, and that's at the Education Resource Center. Over there,
that starts at 10 as opposed to 10:30 here. So.
6802 Dorothy Louise Drive over there in Medical Center. And call
210-382-4455
to reserve a spot. And still about half the seats are available on that class. Also, if you have seen the article, which obviously a number of our listeners have, because we've been getting a lot of calls, you can either call and register for one of the Monarch and Milkweed classes, or if you go to the rodeo tomato classes, we'll have the registration opportunities there for the 4 different Monarch classes, at least 4 that we'll have offered in the spring. And for more information, the information is on the Milberger's website.
Yes, milbergernursery.com is the website, milbergernursery.com. Also on milbergernursery.com, you'll see the big game sale we have here. 10% off everything in-store, excluding grass and labor. So 10% off, that includes annuals, perennials, everything here, even the tomatoes, I believe. The rodeo tomatoes will be included in that.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
And
So what's that? Also, what it's include labor and what?
Labor and grass are not included.
Okay. What about fertilizers or pesticides? Do we know anything about that?
I believe it's everything. Everything.
No, I think
Okay.
that's also included.
That's also- okay.
well, I don't know. I don't know though.
Uh,
We haven't seen any language that takes that off. We better find out.
Yeah, we better find out. In the past, it has excluded some of those chemicals, but we should probably find out.
We will find out.
So, lots of action, and in the article we talk a little bit about the monarch and milkweed situation. The reason we're so interested in the monarchs, which a lot of the gardeners in our area know about, is that the population is dropping, and there's a lot of reasons why. And we mentioned these. We talk a little bit about them in the article today, but they migrate all the way from Mexico City to Canada every year, back and forth every year, and they will only lay their eggs on milkweed plants. And another situation that we quite often folks don't bring up is when they lay eggs, the parents die. So there is they fly into San Antonio, and if they lay eggs here, so much the better if the timing's right. If they got time to make it down to Mexico or make it up to Canada, but if they don't, if the weather is, they're at the end of the traveling season and the weather is bad, not only do the parents die, but those young butterflies don't survive very well. So that's a real complication. And it's a fascinating topic. Our class spends a lot of time talking about those issues, and it's worthwhile to attend because of that. But there's also lots of good information on the internet and books. We've got some one of the best monarch authors in the area in the situation in the U.S. and Canada, Mexico, is Monica Merkel.
Monica Meckley. And it's Monica with a K. Both Calvin and I have forgotten about that.
Yeah,
we used a C instead of the K for the Monica part.
She politely reminds us.
Politely?
But you might want to get that her book if you find this topic interesting. Complex.
Yeah, and I also have to state that she has another book as well. Is Plants with Purpose. 20 plants. I finished it. It's very good.
I like it too. I like it a lot.
It's so 20 plants that not only look good, aesthetically pleasing, but they either have some medicinal benefit or a pollinator benefit, or sometimes all three. So
not everybody is going to have the same affection for them that Monica does.
Yeah.
There's some of those that I kind of wonder about, but it's a fascinating story, and gives you and she does a good job of relating each of those plants to the butterflies, and to all those other issues.
The medicinal and aesthetics. She didn't like my Alamo vine. I don't know why. So that wasn't included.
Another topic that we always have to remind ourselves on the monarchs is to talk about is this. We talk about how important the migration is.
Yeah, but we got to talk about
the nectar plants.
Yeah.
The monarchs, if they're going to be successful in their migrating, have to fill up on the nectar. And among the plants We do list in the article
Yeah, you did a great job on these.
some of the plants: mistflower, zinnias.
Lantanas, porterweed, one of our favorites. That blue curl,
Yeah.
that we've already mentioned.
And a lot of
my favorite, Coreopsis.
A lot of the Coreopsis is one of
Yeah.
the wildflowers that really does a good job.
Bee balm, that's Monarda. That's an excellent one too.
And so you can, so they're here in the San Antonio area, New Braunfels, Austin, in April, when they'll be coming back from Mexico City area, and going through. And if there's milkweed available, they'll probably lay some eggs. A good portion of them will, and then the new generation heads further north into the Midwest and even into Canada, and then they'll be back in September and October. That's the real questionable time, is because usually our native milkweeds. We've got 6 or 7 of them that grow here in the San Antonio area. They have dropped their foliage and aren't blooming, but there is one, the tropical milkweed, that usually has foliage, and Mark and I talk about this every year. About you have to kind of decide is it you're going to cut it back. Like on October 1st, so it doesn't encourage the migrating monarchs to lay their eggs or to stay here, rather than just fill up with nectar and continue to head south. Or do you let them do that, take a chance, and hope that those new butterflies can survive? So that's another question and an issue that we spend a lot of time discussing.
And I think we had a caller last week saying that they had a monarch that was hatching. Isn't that correct?
Oh, yeah. And then we had that really interesting story from one of our teachers, Lulu, that does a class for her youth in her grade school on monarchs. And they had they had the monarchs lay their eggs, hatch, and they were all prospering on the milkweed, and the wasps moved in and wiped out the caterpillars.
Oh, wow.
And gosh, it was
Horrifying.
yeah. And she related that story about her youth or grade schoolers. What were they? Third graders, I think.
Third or fifth, she does both. So one of those two, and then she kind of turned it around to a learning lesson about the circle of life and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah,
I don't expect much therapy that will have to go into those students.
So it's a great topic, and very interesting. And again, you can look at our articles in the Express News and the other newspapers, Austin American Statesman, and
some of the local papers around.
New Braunfels,
Floresville,
Pleasanton, all. To get more information, or you go to the internet.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of
always be careful.
And you'll find, and you'll find it. And that's Monica's book. Does a great job of this too. The differences of opinion and disputes between the researchers.
Never happens.
And the naturalists that have drawn conclusions on the issues that are important to monarchs' survival. And then almost everybody agrees that our local gardeners here can have an important role in helping preserve the monarch population. But there are a lot of questions on what is the best route, what are the best milkweeds,
Absolutely.
and how is best to plant them.
Mm-hmm. Well, we got one more hour in our show. Give us a call at 210-308-8867. We'll be right back with Millburgers Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
We're back with Millburgers Gardening South Texas, live from Millburgers Landscaping and Nursery at 1604 in Bulverde Road. Come out to visit or call us at 210-308-8867. That's 210-308-8867. And now back to Millburgers Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
Welcome back to Millburgers Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Give us a call at 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867, or come on down to Millburgers, located off of Loop 1604 on Bulverde Road. You can have your questions answered in person right here on the patio. Again, the number is 210-308-8867, and it is just
What is it?
210-308-8867. And it's a bright and beautiful day today. It doesn't feel like it's winter anymore, but still got a little while before winter's over. But with this warm weather, are there any pests or any, wildlife that's
we're
coming through?
We're getting a lot of calls on registering for the class, and we'll get as much information, leave a message, and then we'll call you back so we can get the rest of the verify that you've been registered for the class.
The rodeo tomato classes they're filling up then, right? The rodeo tomato classes are filling up.
Oh gosh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the class on the 21st is had 40 folks registered already.
Mm-hmm.
So the potted up tomatoes have been registered for. But we still have opportunities on the class on the 28th, and that one you call 210-382-4455 and register for that, and then leave your leave some number, and we'll call you back and get the rest of the information we need.
Absolutely.
So, and let's see then, in terms of the plants here at Millburgers, cyclamen, we still got a pretty good
selection.
Yeah, replace that cyclamen in case you didn't cover it, like me. So there's some opportunities to replace it, or even use different annuals that we have. So I was thinking about replacing my white cyclamen that didn't make it with some alyssum.
Yeah.
Very interesting. 210.
Yeah, it is. That's a great fragrant, and the pollinators like
and
that.
that's the reason why. So fragrance and pollinators.
Yes, 210-308-8867. James is on the line. James, how are we doing today?
Oh, okay. I just buried my dwarf cherry surprise. Dug it out in the trash. Hey, my gardenia, which I failed to bring in with my Meyer lemon. I usually bring that in as well, but I just forgot, or overlooked it, I should say. So all the foliage is dried up and withered, and so I actually thought it was lost, but right before I called, I took my pocket knife and was scratching the bark, and the majority of it is still green, the stem.
Yep.
It's good. So my thinking, but I want to ask you first, since the leaves are toast, literally, should I try to pull, it's going to be labor intensive, but should I pull all those leaves off with some gloves before it re-leaves, or just leave it be?
I just leave them be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't make any extra work for yourself. I believe in minimal work, sir.
And then the other factor here is that it's minimal protection, but there is some protection from those dead leaves who are in place on the stems.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, Kevin's right there. It's minimal, but there is a protection.
Okay, so just let them fall off naturally.
Yeah.
Either before or after it really out. Okay. So when should I watered it real good before the freeze. I don't know how many days, and I watered it the other day thinking it might be dead, but no, it's alive. So when should I start feeding it? Wait till it leaves out again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now and gardenias are always a special case for us all. That they prefer acidic or low pH soil. So you want to make sure you're using a fertilizer that has some components of sulfur or iron or manganese in it on the gardenia.
Yeah, I have.
And if it's been damaged by the freeze and everything, you want to be kind of conservative on it.
Okay, so I do have a powder product, and I forget the brand, but it says the ingredient is sulfur, and I dusted it a couple of times last year. So when would I hold off on the sulfur? Till after it leaches out, or wait?
So a little dab will do you.
Right.
You can do it multiple times, but a little bit goes a long way.
Right. Okay. Second thing is my, I don't know. This is my first rodeo, timely pun there, with cyclamen in the pot. So I brought it inside before the first freeze. It did good inside, did good. Of course, didn't get much sunlight. Brought it outside, about early this week. Watered it real good with rainwater from my rain barrel. And it's like I gave it the kiss of death. It like wilted up, pulled a tent, barely hanging on. So any idea what happened there? Did it go into shock, reverse shock or something?
Well, it didn't stay soggy, did it?
No, because it has a drain hole in the bottom of the pot, and I took it out of the saucer, so all the water drained out. I watered it real good, but it wasn't holding any water per se.
Well, you got two factors that are usually causing the damage on the cyclamen. You've got the cold weather, and it was below 28 degrees, which does cause damage. And usually it doesn't hurt the leaves. But
but I brought it inside the house.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. It's been about 10 days inside the house. I'm wondering if it got too hot or dry, and then when I watered it might have shocked.
That could have been another factor. Yeah, that was probably another factor.
Low humidity?
Yeah.
Kind of, okay.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I kind of hesitate to overstate the protection they need, because you outsmart yourself sometimes when they're so beautiful and they look so fragile. For years I never covered mine or anything, and they they're real fine and tolerated most, because you grow them in the shade. They're close to a building or a fence or something, and pretty protected. The other thing I've been having trouble with is the I gotta have them in big containers, and I love them at the base of my big oak trees. The problem is it's a traffic area for squirrels and raccoons and West Highland Terriers. And so I end up getting them, they break at the base. And then then they're real vulnerable to the sogginess or to cold weather. So that's the issue I have. And of course, so that's the reason why I got another load of cyclamen today. I just couldn't resist. These look so good here.
Well, he's in a 12-step program right now for his cyclamen, but he's not seeming to be able to go through all 12 steps.
I kind of have to sneak in there and pay for them, and then go out the back door so that the staff that's watching out for me doesn't catch me and say, "Calvin, you didn't buy more cyclamen, did you?"
So, but James, I continue with the effort. I love cyclamen. I love the different colors. They used to be just red and whites when Calvin and I were young people. Now they got all different colors. So, every year keep up with some, buy a couple of cyclamen.
But I think you're right that they you got to be careful on that protecting them. They do best when the protection is just a covering and not a drastic change of temperature and drying.
Well, I think if I would have left it outside, it probably would have died as well, because I got down into the upper teens here twice.
I was pretty cavalier too, and mine didn't make it. A little warmer than you are in downtown San Antonio, but even then, they didn't make it. But I was going, just like Kelvin. I go, I never covered them before. They made it okay. No,
okay, well, on a positive note, my onions that looked really, really bad after that second freeze, they perked up. Now the greens have a lot of brown to them, but they're taking off again, so that's good.
Yeah, mine look good, real good too. They were one of the first ones to recover. Let's see. Oh, and the spinach. I didn't get spinach planted until late in the season,
right.
And that was probably an advantage because it got through the cold weather. The plants are close to the soil, and the greens that took it on the chin the most were those that had the fruit and
right. So
clusters.
you had mentioned a couple weeks ago the Swiss chard kind of bit it hard because it has that exposed stem, and with that exposed stem, it got damaged in the cold weather.
Of course, and it made me very hungry for Swiss chard. Brussels sprouts though made it through without batting an eyelash. I've got a ton of those left, and let's see what. The kale. The kale wasn't affected much, rutabagas. The tops were wiped out, but luckily the roots were. There's plenty of rutabagas there.
You just can't stop those rutabagas. They'll keep on going.
Hey, can I add one more thing, Mark?
Sure.
I want to ask you, or encourage you, if you will, to keep reiterating the timing on cutting stuff back, because I saw a pretty in-depth. When I say in-depth, it was a news on one of the local news channels just yesterday, I think it was, and it was another garden center in town, and he was advising people what to look for in freeze damage, and he was pretty much saying everybody should have pruned everything back already. So people are getting bad information.
It's even if we didn't have the freeze, the rule of thumb has always been last week in February, first week in March, depending on weather. So, yes, even if it's brown, even if it's quite ugly, you should retain it because it does provide benefits to the wildlife that we have, both in cover and food.
This year is a special problem because with that drought and now the freeze, we just don't have a lot of foliage or stems out there for insects to hide or be found by the birds. So it's especially important this year. But on that, I also kind of hedge when some gardeners just get I think I expect to see tears in their eyes, and they're ready. They don't want to hold anything up.
Yeah.
Let's move. I'm ready to move into this new growth period.
They have their pruning shears, old-fashioned shears, sharpened and ready to go, sleeping with it underneath their pillow, ready to go.
Yeah, but don't y'all remember?
All right, James, thanks.
A few decades back when we had a freeze in April, so it can happen.
Yes. Well,
Alrighty.
also 2021, it was Valentine's Day, 14th
Right.
and 15th, so it can happen still in the future.
Gotcha. All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, James.
Thank
really
you, James.
Appreciate it.
Bye now.
Yeah.
210-308-8867. 210-308-8867. So, rule on hand, wait until the end of February, beginning of March to
so
prune.
the general rule of thumb is the last week in February, first week in March, depending on weather. So now if we have some more days like we're having today, then you go ahead and may do it a little earlier.
Yeah, if you start to see some growth,
Yeah.
then that's quite often that's the indication that you can go ahead with it.
So
Now-
some people like wait till you see the growth. Some people like calendar day, and so that's why we provide these calendar general rules of calendar time.
And how much should you prune? Is there anything as too much pruning or too little pruning?
No, you can go all the way down the ground most times. Some plants, like 6 inches, but there are many plants that just say, everything's dead above ground, and I'm coming back from the roots. Or actually, technically, there's a little root or root collar, a little grouping of cells that's where the growth is going to occur.
Gotcha.
Well, and another thing, if your plant you're talking about has any thorns on it, it makes it. If you wait too long, we got that new growth there along with the old growth, and it makes it tougher to clean everything up. So you don't want to wait
too long.
Wait too long. Although I'm trying to think of some of the plants that are in that category.
Right, as soon as you said it, I'm like, oh, I know that because I have bought big, like, welder's gloves before. Roses, there's some old-fashioned roses.
Blackberries.
Blackberries is the one.
And, then the hackberry, the spiny hackberry.
Yeah, spiny hackberry. That's, yes, big gloves. Big. Don't be embarrassed. They can be. They may not be aesthetically pleasant, but you'll appreciate them.
Yeah, the gloves are better than the scars that are left.
Yes, 210-308-8867. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to be right back with Millburgers Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Welcome back to Millburgers Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Give us a call at 210-308-8867. Or come on down to Millburgers. Right off of Loop 1604 on Bulverde Road. It is a beautiful day, and it's looking like it's going to be a beautiful day tomorrow as well.
That's like Calvin was just mentioning that there's a lot of activity, a lot of people coming out. It must be the weather.
Yes.
The weather and and then of course the great plants. Now next, you mentioned was interesting that gardener came in with the.
During the break, we had a gardener come in and had some tomato questions
and stink bugs, and we mentioned peaches, and my article next week is going to be on peaches, how to grow peaches in San Antonio. That's another plant that is not easy.
It's not easy to grow them and to get a quality fruit, and sometimes the pests are not easy to dissuade.
And this year has been particularly bad. The drought, and we had with the heat and the drought, we've even a lot of gardeners neglected to water them as much as they needed, and so they were real stressed. Bacterial canker.
Yeah, bacterial canker, gummosis. Oh, it's terrible.
And a lot of gardeners blamed it on the borers, but around here there's not much borer action.
Not at this time of year. But you and I were chuckling last week. I don't know if there's going to be enough chilling hours, because freezing temperatures are not necessarily what is required for chilling hours.
Yeah, that's right. It's generally the approximate number of chilling hours is the number of hours with temperatures between 32 and 45. And so if it gets real cold,
That doesn't
it
count.
doesn't count for cold.
No.
If it gets too warm, it doesn't count either. And so it's not a simple issue. You know, one of the that's another topic that's very interesting and complex. And there's a great book out by Larry Stein, and gosh, I'm trying to remember the other author. He's also expert at Texas A&M Extension Service close to our area in the Hill Country, and they did a good job of talking about both the commercial, if you're interested in commercial peach growing, but also about backyard peach growing, and that's the topic that my article covers next Saturday. So you know we're talking about a raised bed in unless you're in the hill country, hill country sometimes we have soil is a little more acidic and deeper.
A little deeper, but you got to be got to be aware of it. Not necessarily every place in the hill country has decent soil, so you have to know what you have.
And you mentioned, Mark, that the chill hours from year to year that it's an erratic difference, changes. Some years there's almost no chill hours. Other years it's terribly cold and a lot of chill hours, and that's a problem because you want if you had the same chill hours every year, you plant the right variety that demands that certain chill hours, and you'd have a consistent production of fruit. But I've always had my favorite, the most reliable, has been Florida King. And then
it's a slightly lower chill hour requirement.
And it's real early. And then another one that's always mentioned is La Valenciana, which is a later, a month later it's produced. But it also is a little higher quality fruit. It's not a cling. The Florida King is a cling. Seed
No, it's a
fruit.
freestone, or is it a cling?
No. La Valenciana is freestone.
Oh, okay.
Florida King is
Is it
cling.
Oh, okay.
But Florida King has got a nice large fruit and it's very nice color. Tastes pretty good.
The thing that you mentioned, and I never thought about it until you had mentioned it, is, well, the longer that fruit is on there, the more things could happen.
You talk about you
about
brought your stink bugs.
Yeah. So one of those things, or more things that could happen, are stink bugs, mockingbirds pecking the fruit.
Raccoons
stealing the fruit, or just taking a bite and going, not so much.
Well, and then it's really subject. We mentioned the bacterial canker, and that's what usually kills them. In our area here, they only last maybe 8 to 12 years.
I'm the eternal optimist. I went 12, and Calvin laughed.
I always mention 10 to 15. 10 is the usual here.
Yeah.
And in the hill country, it's a little bit more. But that it's worth it if you get a good crop. But gosh, it doesn't happen every year. That's why we always fall back on figs and blackberries, and which are much easier and more dependable in terms of fruit production.
But figs figs and blackberries are the most dependable. Citrus is good.
I found that book you were talking about from Larry Stein,
Yeah.
the Texas Speech Handbook. The other
That's it.
the
Good.
other author is Jim Camas.
Camus.
Camus.
Jim
There we
Camus,
go.
yeah. Yeah, they're both real expert. Dr. Larry Stein. I don't know if John
Is it
Thomas a PhD or not, but he's he's very respected by the commercial industry and by gardeners. So it's a good book, a lot of good information. If you want to look that up, it's a paperback. And now I did not include that on our Christmas recommendation list.
No, I didn't. I didn't even put it in my. I have a single sheet where I call the gardener's library, but I didn't include that one. I'm going to have to redo that.
You know what I like best about it is that it gives some good information on pruning. Pruning peaches is very important, and it has to be done every single year. And
I remember doing a demonstration for somebody, and the amount that I was taking out, just horrified.
Well,
I'm like, no, you gotta do it.
Well, the good news is that they grow so much that they recover even if you make some mistakes on pruning them. But the whole idea of the pruning is to open up the middle so there can be air movement and sun access to the fruiting. They got to be in full sun. They got to have some space. And then, as we've indicated in this discussion today, that a lot of pests are involved.
Well, so earlier when I was describing Mexican plum, and I said in general, like crepe myrtles as well. You want a nice open vase, a vase on that. Nice open, lots of open. Well, on a peach, think about a champagne glass. So you're opening it up in the middle and cutting the top out. So that's
Gotcha.
At the end, you're looking at a champagne glass type thing. And again, some people are horrified when you get done.
Well, it was interesting. A lot of commercial peach growers, their insurance company insists that the trees be pruned down to 8 feet. Because and no ladders used. Yeah. Because that you're talking about a lot of trees. You're talking about a lot of action.
I never knew that.
And so that's an interesting discussion too. So you can really prune them back if you want, and you can make them attractive though. But that if you get that access to that book, what was that book again?
It is
Texas Peach.
Texas Peach Handbook.
And
Texas
it's by
Peach Handbook.
Larry Stein and Jim
Camas. K-A-M-I-S?
K-A-M-A-S.
Yeah. A-S.
And they're both work for Texas A&M, the extensions, AgriLife Extension.
Yes.
They work for the system. That's what we used to say.
Larry is in Uvalde, and Jim is in, I'm not sure, someplace in the hill country.
Yeah. But I think on the eastern. So, I don't want to say Austin, but somewhere maybe up in that area. Northwest of Austin.
Fredericksburg, it may be.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. Somebody will know.
Yeah.
Give us a call if you've dealt with either Jim or Larry, and some information about their backgrounds and also any experiences you've had with peaches and the varieties.
Yeah, so that's how we're always interested in the varieties. Calvin has introduced me to the not June Gold. June Gold?
Farragle, Florida King.
Florida King. I knew there's a royal aspect to it. There's some other. There's like a June Royal and other things.
On my commercial peach orchard, I grew June Gold, Spring Gold. Those were basically the two I grew. Now you don't even see. Well, June Gold and Spring Gold. I was in East Texas, so I had a little more cold chill.
Uh-huh.
And of course in East Texas with acid soil and deep soil, well-drained soil, you had a much easier job growing peaches there. But it's tough here.
But now you got Florida King, and we mentioned La Feliciana, a very great standby.
Tex.
Yeah, Tex King, Tex Royal.
You're probably not wrong. There's about
there's
17 Tex somethings.
Yeah. So once the
Florida
breeder,
Prince, all kinds.
I had one Florida Prince last year, and it was very delicious. Come peach time. There is a gentleman in our parking lot that usually sells some, and I tried different ones just to taste it. And that Prince one was very delicious last year. I was very pleased with that.
Well, Mark, have you gotten a report when we expect for all those fruit trees to show up here at Milberger's?
Well, they were supposed to come in next week or two, but
oh, really?
I have to confirm that with Peter on that. But they traditionally it's the end of this month. I happen to know, I heard a rumor that there may be a Jam and Jams come the end of this month, which is a fruit tree giveaway by the Parks and Recreation Department. So I don't have any other details on that other than that.
And I know one of the strangest things you told us about the CPS program. Are they still giving a rebate for growing peach trees? Trees?
They added citrus, and they may have added a pear on there. I didn't look for. Maybe just the citrus aspect of it just flabbergasted me. But they did open it up to medium-sized trees a couple years ago. Now remember, the CPS green shade rebate is to increase the amount of shade and reduce electricity use during the summer. So opening it up to medium-sized trees is kind of, I went, it's a and so, but yeah, so I did mention that on several occasions.
But it's a wonderful opportunity if you're a CPS customer for regular shade trees.
Yeah. Other than that, there's no problem. The green shade program, CPS Energy, always forgot to put the E or the energy on it, is a great program. Up to 5 trees per residence, and you get a $50 credit on your rebate bill for each tree.
For each. Gotcha.
For each tree, yeah. So that's a great program.
Yeah, and they're pretty. They accept almost any of the trees we've been recommending.
Yeah, I know. It includes all the ones that Calvin and I like and recommend, and that are available here. And if there's one where you really, really want, they'll take it in consideration.
And then those free tree giveaways, they generally pick trees that are on that list too, don't they? Or not?
Oh, on the CPS, occasionally, let's say on Earth Day.
What about the
CPS Energy will be giving away trees, and so.
What about the other group that you just mentioned? That's
the Parks and Recreation on the fruit trees. Yeah, it's all fruit trees that are recommended from the A&M.
Help me remember which is the easiest pear tree to grow. Kiefer.
Yeah, so the three that it's on my list is Kiefer, Ayers, and Warren. But Kiefer is the one I think we like the best.
Yeah, that's the easiest. Now it's kind of a tough peach. It works really well for cooking. Huge production. the Warren, everybody brags about it. And I tried to get. I had one for like 9 years and never got any fruit off of it. So I can't. I've never. I'd love to hear somebody that has gotten fruit production.
In the back of my mind, I think that one, or the stink bugs like that one too. If you ever had fruit on it, but sometimes in the back of my mind it's like Warren, stink bugs.
Let us know 210-308-8867. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to be right back with Millburgers Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Welcome back to Millburgers Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. 210-308-8867. Bert from Bert, you're on the line.
Hey, y'all. Greetings and salutations.
Greetings.
Quick question about red sorghum. Do you think it'll grow here? I was watching something about it, and I was like, wow, that's beautiful. It's a beautiful, reminded me of when you let a lemongrass grow very tall.
Well,
I don't know it.
Well, yes and no. Okay, so sorghum, in the back of my mind, I would be a little warmer climate for it. However, if you ever went down 181 down to the coast, they had field upon field of milo. Milo is a close relative of sorghum. So I don't know. I can't give you a correct answer on that, but I would say, yeah, you could try it, but I just kind of feeling it likes it a little warmer and maybe a little wetter.
Okay. And the only thing I had from a freeze report is I left everything out in containers, and they all froze solid, the onions and the garlic. And when I went out after the freeze, a week after, they're all green again and coming back up.
Yeah,
and I mean, they froze solid. The containers were solid blocks of ice.
Yeah, I think that's the onions. Everybody that we've heard from gave a good report on the survival of the onions. And there's still time to plant.
Yeah. I was going to say there's still time to plant a lot of different things. I had a Facebook post from David and the Extension Service. They had 25 plants to begin planting. I went, that's kind of a lot.
Is that on Plant Answers?
No, not on Plant Answers. On the Texas AgriLife Extension Service website. So the Bear County, and I went, well, it was a lot, and but then I reviewed my list right before we started the show today, and I went, well, I have a lot of those plants on there.
Well, one of them for sure, or a couple of them if you count the English peas apart from sweet peas. It's not too late to plant them. But the English
pea, is that a vine, Calvin?
Is it a vine? Which the one that calls up the vine?
Now, if your English peas, which they normally do, really got on your trellis and got way up, they really took it on the chin.
Oh yeah,
in the freeze.
No, yeah.
Now, if some of the sweet peas that were a little slower, the flowering ones, and stayed close to the ground, I think the soil was warm enough that they didn't get as damaged as much. So they're perking up and coming back. And I expect in a couple of weeks we may get some blooms from the sweet peas. But the English peas, I think you have to replant them. And what are the ones that we?
So we like also, and what is recommended on that list are the sugar peas and snap peas.
Yeah, those are my favorite.
So basically edible pod peas on that.
Yeah,
and that's
I grew up with
time.
snap peas.
Yeah,
grew up with snap peas. I love them, man. They're great.
So, this time of year, you can start thinking about green beans and some collards and Swiss chard and lettuces and spinach and leeks and turnips and cucumber and broccoli and all different kinds of things. Carrots,
now
and
you're
radishes.
getting me hungry, Mark.
Yeah, I know. Me too.
Well,
What do you guys
the Crawford lettuce, the reseeding,
Yeah.
it got a little burnt a little bit on edges, but it seems to be recovering too, kind of in the same league with the onions and the spinach and things. So that's good news.
Well, like I said, everything else, even all the weeds got burnt back. So I was glad for that. I'm just going to go rake up the dead heads and put them in the compost pile.
What about?
Would you recommend not doing that because of the seeds in them?
Oh, no. Well, here's the thing. I had a discussion with somebody else the other night. So they were going to put all the rake leaves into the green bin. I went, why don't you just rake them up into a pile? And here's the reason why. There's a lot of insects, moths, and butterflies that lay their eggs in the duff layer. What we call the duff layer, that is the fallen leaves. And you don't want to necessarily get rid of them all. But you may just want to get them in a pile and kind of clean up the yard.
Well, and that's a topic that has come up too for a lot of these horticulturists that they're talking about. Well, you don't rush and cut the weeds. They prune subtropical plants down, and don't throw the leaves away because of all the limited amount of egg laying and a limited amount of vegetation that's out there because of the weather we've had. And so that they agree with you, Mark. They talked about those leaf piles being very important in terms of a reserve and a place for at least some of those populations to be preserved.
Well, I would do that. I did that with all my leaves. I leave them in a pile for a while, and then I put them in the compost.
Right. So yeah, I knew what you would do, but it was a good opportunity to talk about that.
Thank you so much, and I'll be listening to you guys tomorrow. Have a great one.
You too.
All right, thank
You
you.
take it
Have a
easy.
great day.
Bye-bye.
All right, 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867. Got a couple minutes left in our show today. Just a quick couple of reminders that the rodeo tomato classes that are coming up here at Millburgers and at the Education Resource Center. The class here at Millburgers is pretty much at capacity for people to sign up. Is that correct?
Yeah, sign up and to attend. We're pretty close
now
to full.
You can actually attend, but you just participate in the lecture because we've committed all the potted up tomatoes there. But the class on the 28th of February at the Education Resource Center is 6802 Dorothy Louise Drive in San Antonio by the Medical Center. That class has some seats available and has some of the potted up tomatoes available too. And call 210-382-4455 to reserve a spot there. And then get a hold of that article in the Express News today, and it has talks about the monarch and milkweed classes too, and they're available. There's one scheduled in Millburgers and one scheduled at the Education Resource Center. Mm-hmm. Plus, Floresville has one, and also New Braunfels has one. And they've all got. They're going to will distribute milkweed seeds and germinated milkweed plants for folks that pre-register And each of those classes has a phone number to call. And if you want, you can get that information from the article, or you can get it from the website here at Milberger's.
Yes, the website is millburgernursery.com, millburgernursery.com.
Hey, just want to remind everybody, we have the rodeo tomato here at Milberger's.
Yeah. And they look good.
So, yeah, we got other ones, other rodeo tomatoes here, like Celebrity and Amelia, but we have the Pole Big.
Pole Big. And where does that name originate from?
Keep in mind, if you get it, you gotta pot it up or protect it from.
Well, the whole point. That's the whole point of the programs is we're not. It's maybe 80 today, but we're not out of the woods, and so we're gonna pot up all your tomatoes this time of year in a 1-gallon container, or I'm sorry, number one. As they want us to say from now on.
You're usually safe on the weather about April 1st. So if you pot them up and keep them out of the wind and keep them in full sun, and then you'll get a lot of growth, and they'll be ready for action about April 1st. You put them in your garden, or you put them in your permanent container. Large container. The tomatoes do wonderful in containers as long as they're large enough.
Yeah, beat me to it. Yeah. Don't skimp on your container when growing tomatoes.
And what is your minimum size, Mark? What do you think about it?
Man, I like 20.
Yeah. Well,
I guess 15 is 10 or 15 is the minimum size.
Yeah, I go for 15 too. Half whiskey barrels work very well. But
don't skimp. If you think, that's about right, no, it's not. Double it.
Because tomatoes are top heavy, and if they're going to prosper, they need a soil reservoir for the water and also for nutrients. So if you've got small containers, you may as well take a long-term vacation from your job, because you'll have to stand there by the container and keep them watered. So have a large enough container if you're going to grow them in pots.
Do you see this upcoming year a good season for tomatoes?
Oh, I don't know. If I knew that, I'd be a millionaire. Gee.
Well, what would he have to do to be a billionaire?
I would say know the upcoming weather. That I would say, that is going to be a great year for tomatoes. Oh yeah, I could have said that in 2021. Just sitting here going, well, it's going to be a great year, and then February 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th. Yeah, when it was freezing, and I didn't have any electricity. And I had to couch surf among other friends just to be able to get a shower. It was terrible.
Okay. And how long's that sale on?
The big game sale, it's on until the 9th. 10% off everything in the store, not including grass and labor.
Yes,
but
we never did find, but we'll find out tomorrow.
We'll find out,
and tomorrow we'll be back to talk about the new topics and anything you want to bring up, and also the same topics. And again, consider the rodeo tomato potting up class, and also the monarch and milkweed classes. A whole realm of them are scheduled for the spring.
Absolutely. Thank you again for listening today. We'll be back tomorrow with Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. I'm Alex Escobar with Dr. Calvin Finch and Mark Peterson. We will see you tomorrow.